I don't have a lot of time, and I do apologize if this starts to look horrendous. Today we're going to talk about practicing cinematography at home with zero lights. First of all, why is this necessary? And is that not a waste of time? Well, it's not a waste of time, and it's necessary because this way you can observe what the light looks like, what real light looks like, and you can see for yourself how the sun enters the room, what the color of the light is, how it looks when it's overcast, when it's sunny, like right now. And it's very important to do that because whenever you're trying to accomplish a natural look in the commercial world, in the narrative field, maybe even in a music video, I don't know, you have to have some points of reference. And yeah, I know you can always look at shot deck, but I think that when you build your visual library yourself, your library of references, it's much more valuable because first you get to use your gear, and let's not kid ourselves. We all have gear lying around, and we're waiting for any opportunity to find something to do with it. Try different visual styles and techniques, and try out different lenses on your own time, without anybody pushing you, without people waiting for you. I think it's very important to do these things. And this is going to be part one of probably a two-part series, because I'm going to do a similar video to this one about practicing cinematography with no lights and no modificators outside. But outside it's different. Inside you have walls, you have got colors, like this green room that I'm in, and it's all this green cast right now. And you've got different sizes of windows, you've got different furniture. So it's important that you learn how to control lights with only what you have. And if you have to replicate this later on, you will have the knowledge. And before that, let's get the annoying thing out of the way. I've got Patreon, and I do a lot of behind the scenes footage myself of what I'm doing. I made some shots of this setup with my Fuji camera, and I am posting text posts with pictures on Patreon where I show how I set it up, the choices that I had to make. And in every video that I do, except for this one, I do a little bit more, which I don't show on YouTube, and I upload the full version in Patreon. So if you'd like to see all of the content, including the exclusive content, and if you'd like to be part of our Discord and chat with me and talk about cinematography mainly, or music, or whatever else, you're welcome. You can click the link below, join our community, and become a better cinematographer yourself. With that out of the way, let's get into the actual scenes that I shot. The first scene is one of the easiest ones, I should say, because it's in the room where my bench is, and the bench is right next to a big ass window, and I put the bench as close as I could to the window so that I could have as soft light as I can. And as I said, I tried to stay away from any reflectors, negative fills, positive fills, whatever, lamps. It looks, honestly, it looks a bit like some low budget drama or, I don't know, documentary. But yeah, I did that little pathetic scene and I liked it. Me personally, I've grown to actually like hard light, as you can probably see. Otherwise, I wouldn't be shooting this here. I like hard light because it's more natural. And in real life, yes, you get overcast days, but naturally, when there is sun, there is hard light. And yes, you can use curtains and shears to soften it up or block it, but ultimately, hard light is the real light. And everything else is this hard light modified in some way. And it's not always natural. It might be beautiful on someone's face, but it's not natural. Now, the second scene is actually in my hallway. And since the hallway has this, I don't really know what's the word in English, but it's wooden, I don't know, the walls have this wooden insulation, I guess. I don't know. And they have this reddish, orange-ish tint to them. So first off, they're a bit darker, so they suck light and act as somewhat of a negative fill. And second, the little light that they bounce back is actually pretty warm. And I used the light from the window of my kitchen to be the only source of light. And since the corridor or hallway is very dark, I decided that it would be very suitable to try out and shoot a silhouette. Now, silhouettes are very dramatic and they convey certain emotions and really need to be used sparingly. But since this is like a single scene and it doesn't really have a context, I decided that it will be okay. I do have an overhead lamp in my hallway, which I didn't turn on, first because the point of the practice is to not use any electricity or reflectors and such. But also the overhead light is very warm, it's tungsten, and it would really screw up the white balance of the picture. So I decided that I would just leave the window to do its job. The third scene was in my kitchen and my cat was in the way all the time. And I just made coffee, I sat by the table, again I sat closest to the window. I tried to, in all of my shots, I always shoot upstage, or I should say, I use upstage lighting and I shoot from the short side or the shadow side in order to create more depth. So I try to adhere to that always. And I sat closest to the window and I used the shears as somewhat of a diffusion, because again, in real life you've got shears, but also because our neighborhood is not pretty at all, and I wanted to hide it from the camera. And when the shear is lit up by the outside source, it kind of blows out. But in this case, it was something I was searching as an effect, so it's intentional. The last one, actually, I shot some minutes ago here in this room. And again, because it's sunny outside and I've got these shears, because if there are no shears, it looks like this. So I use the shears to soften the lights just a little bit. And again, I love afternoons. In everything I do, if I have the creative freedom, I like to at least get close to an afternoon feeling or vibe, as kids say these days. Because to me personally, this is the best part of a day, especially if it's sunny. In my opinion, the afternoons have the best light, the best feeling, the best color, and they're just somewhat magical, you know? This is very, very useful to me, because now I will have proof with my own hands, in my own house, how an afternoon sun looks like. And tomorrow, if at 2 a.m. I want to recreate an afternoon sun, I know exactly which lamp to put, where to put it, and at what angle. And this is the real treasure here. This is the real knowledge. It's about you getting better, building your own visual library, and just using your gear. It's better to use your gear for such small steps and such small gains, rather than not using it and scrolling Facebook or whatever. That's all I have to say. Thank you. See you next time.